Yo, what's up, my fellow sugar cubes? Diet Sugar here, and today we're going to be talking about my latest sample pack. It's called Sugary Soundscapes Volume 1. There are 20 high-quality melodic samples in it that I think are super inspiring. They're all BPM and key labeled. They're stemmed out at the end. I just wanted to make a video about it to talk about the pack, to talk about the extras that come in the pack. In the pack itself, there are 20 samples in there. You get the MP3 and the WAV file. I know that some people prefer the MP3s just because of file size. If you don't have that much space, you can download just what you want and then throw the rest away. All of these samples are anywhere from like 16 bars to like 32, and they're pretty cool. I'm using a lot of the sounds that I've kind of showed y'all already in a couple of other videos. If you want to see a breakdown of any of these particular samples, like if you download the pack and you really love one of the samples and you want to know how I made it, let me know. I can put up a video of that too. The pack was inspired by Clams Casino, A$AP Rocky, Travis Scott, Don Toliver. These are some of my favorite artists, and I just think that the work that they put out is just super fire. I love the psychedelic sound, so I really went in with the idea that I was going to be making experimental things, pushing where a genre might go with some seriously psychedelic textures, and then I tried to create a lot of ambient soundscapes. I really thought that using granular synthesis and FM synthesis would make for a really interesting marriage. Pretty much every sound that I used had some form of either granular synthesis or FM synthesis contributing to the texture. And then purely because I wanted to be extra, I ran each of the samples through a pair of Fairfield circuitry shallow water pedals. They add magic. I love having them in my collection. I've just kind of really started to play with them, to be honest. They're a pretty new addition. And like I said, each sample is BPM and key labeled with the stems rendered out, so you can arrange it differently if you want. In addition to that, there are a few extras that the pack comes with. I still haven't decided on the name for this one yet, but it's like a drum kit basically that I'm working on. So in here I've got a few 808s, just 3, and they're really similar to each other. Really, the only difference between the first one and the second one is there's some additional stereo width that's happening. And this is actually the 808 that comes in the next extra, which is an analog lab bank. I just rendered it out in case someone didn't have pigments, but they wanted the 808 out of there. There's also some percussive fills. These are kind of like ear candy. I like to use this kind of stuff in my production, so I'm just including a couple of them. Like I said, this is a pack that I'm working on, so some of these sounds may not be there in the final pack. I'm not sure. And then some seriously amazing toms that I made. Like, that just sounds amazing to me. I love that. The Analog Lab Bank has 10 sounds in it. It's amazing in my opinion if you like granular synthesis or FM synthesis. The next bonus is an Analog Lab Bank, and it's a light bank of a pack that I'm currently working on called Granular Colors. It has 10 sounds. They're all made with Arteria pigments. A lot of them you're going to hear in the actual samples. I made a lot of the samples with these sounds themselves, so I wanted to include the sounds that I was working with. There's some cool stuff in here like 808s, arpeggiators. They're more just like chops of a sample. A super thick bass. I already covered this one. If you want to see the breakdown for this one, it's in my other video where I break down a sample. There's a sampled piano that just sounds like it's right out of a lo-fi video. That super disrespectful lead. There's an organ layer in there. A really cool pad. One of my favorite sounds of all time is just this. I love those kind of sounds. All of these presets have macros that are mapped already in the Analog Lab Bank so that you can control stuff in them without really having to get into the preset and mess with it. The next thing in the pack is a set of one-shots that I made. It's another pack that I'm working on called Moonlight. It's a granular one-shot kit. These sounds are more dark, ambient. What I like about this is you can take these samples and then put them into pigments, into those presets, and they give you a totally new sound. I mean, you can throw them in any sampler as far as that goes. I made them so that I could put them in my pigments presets, if that makes sense, just to have that freedom to make cool shit. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff. My hope is that if you download this and you take those one shots, it just gives you inspiration as soon as you hear the sound and you just want to make something cool. I love it when I come across a sound like that. The last bonus is a set of Foley one shots that I recently went out and collected in the Pacific Northwest. I called it Wildwoods. You get the dry one shots and the wet one shots. There's no loops in here. I'm working on the loops actually, and they're going to be included in that drum kit that I was talking about. The one shots themselves are pretty cool. So there's like atmospheres, which you can take and layer under your, whatever you're making and kind of give you an organic texture. There's these things that are called textures, which are kind of like tape loops. Like you can play them. If you warp them, you play them in time. They sound really interesting. And then, of course, the Foley. The sounds that I've been showing you, those are the wet ones. The dry sounds are also included in there if you want them. And if you want to see a breakdown of how I did that processing, because I use some bulk processing techniques, don't let me know because I don't remember what I did. I always loved my time in the woods, and I wanted to capture some of that organic sound and space and texture to use in my productions. So this is a pack really that I made for myself to use in my drum kits, but I figured I would share the one shots with y'all. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing the process of me making the drum kit, follow me on Twitch. I'm going to be streaming it Thursdays and Friday mornings. If you can't catch the stream, no stress. I'm going to be uploading the highlights to YouTube as I end up finding cool techniques or doing stuff that I think is worth sharing. So just chill the fuck out. Like, you'll get it eventually. You don't have to be that aggressive about it, but like, it's okay. I forgive you. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. If you like this kind of shit, throw me a follow on my Instagram, help me grow there, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. As a reminder, you can get this pack completely for free with the link in the description. If you download the pack and you like what's in it, share it with one of your producer homies. They can also download it for free. It's unlimited. It's a digital thing. There's no limit to digital stuff. Anyways, peace. See you next time.